she still feels empty, that there's something that sex is not providing her. Hi everyone, this is Sam Qurashi. I used to be a psychiatric resident in an addiction hospital, and I'm also an Instagrammer, and I just started my YouTube channel. We're doing this series where my producer shows me videos that I've never seen before. So far it's my strange addiction. I'm assuming this one is going to be the case as well, but I'm not really sure. So let's see. Oh, come on. Okay. All right. Mattress eating addiction. Let's see.
My name is Jennifer, and I'm addicted to eating mattresses. I like my mattress plain and straight up. No mayonnaise, butter, none of that. There's like a hard texture, like my taste buds to go, kind of like a guitar.
When I found out that Jennifer eats mattresses, I was just dumbfounded. I was like, oh, it blew my mind that she did that.
Every little detail.
Oh my God. I definitely didn't study this. Mattress eating. But yeah, okay, eating disorders and addiction. This would be really interesting. We didn't have that in our textbooks, but the concept of eating in general. Whenever you're ingesting, regardless of what it is, you're actually consuming something in order to fill a void. Eating mattresses is an example at the moment, because what she's doing is she's compensating for something through eating. Now, eating a mattress specifically would be very interesting to me, because I'd like to know what is the logic behind mattresses, because she could have eaten anything. The idea of just mattresses specifically is very interesting.
I start off with the good stuff. The good stuff to me is the pillow top itself. Then I go down to this part. I cut it. After that, I just start ripping it as I go. I get to a piece. I'm done with the mattress when it smells funny, or if I get down to where it's just the springs.
I love it when someone gets into a certain behavior and they start thinking about every single detail of it, and it becomes an art. It becomes a way of optimizing the experience that your behavior is allowing you to have. It's a fascinating concept regardless of what the behavior is, but in this case it's very interesting to kind of try to find a way to tweak the experience, because it's giving her something. She's not doing this just to waste her time. She's doing this to kind of fill a void, like I mentioned.
For some reason, after sex, I would want some.
This is getting interesting. So, that is interesting. After having sex, she wants to eat mattresses. Is it possible that she's not satisfied? She still feels empty, that there's something that sex is not providing her, that she needs to add to her experience after sex, which would be eating the mattress. Is there something related to abuse? Because filling yourself up that way creates a sense of safety. Why would you want to fill yourself up to feel safe unless there's something that you either fear being taken from you or something that has already been taken from you and you just want to get it back?
I was sitting in the back seat and it was like sponge down there. And I just picked it and took it and was like, just chewed on it.
The fact that she was 5, the fact that she had it in the car seat, the back seat, family car. What's interesting about that is this is a new behavior, and new behaviors either emerge from curiosity or as a way to compensate. Adaptation, curiosity or adaptation usually. So it may be curiosity or it may be an adaptation. If it's an adaptation, the question is what? I've never tried it, but I don't think it's tasty. So for someone to do that, she needed comfort in that moment when she was 5 in the back seat and saw that available. Something may have happened in the car, something may have happened before she got in the car that led to her to feeling that sense of fear that created the need to protect herself, the need to kind of consume something, to fill herself up in that moment, to comfort herself. And it would be very interesting if they touch upon that, because that is one option, that is one possibility, one thread as to where her motivation for doing that when she was 5.
But for the last 10 years, mattresses has just been my thing.
10 years. Yeah, I would imagine.
It's embarrassing.
I would imagine.
I couldn't just come on.
Keeping something like this, because again, I mean, we've done several strange addiction videos. This is a very interesting one, because the last thing you want, when you're doing something that you know is unusual, but is filling you up, what matters is how it makes you feel. So you're not really gonna care about what other people think. What you care about is how it makes you feel. However, if you fear rejection, which most people do, then what you'd want to do is find a way, create a reality in which both can exist, where you don't have to be rejected, but at the same time you can still do the thing that you fear people will reject you because of. And in her case, I'll just do this, and it's very convenient for mattresses, because for her to eat mattresses, because mattresses are in her home. It's private. So she can do it and get away with it without anybody in public seeing her doing it. And therefore, it's harder for people to expose her. It's harder for her to be outed because it's private, which makes it harder for the addiction to be treated, because it's so convenient. But it also, in her case, it's a way for her to keep doing it despite the fact that maybe her life would be better without it. Maybe life would be better by identifying the reason why she did it in the first place.
It's not even all my family knows.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I fear that my sister could die from this.
The mattress goes down my throat. Sometimes it gets stuck. Like, I could choke and I could die.
God forbid that something will happen to her, because I will feel at fault for that.
Jennifer eating my mattress is getting way out of hand. We don't know what this mattress is doing to her. Me and my son just need to confront her today and ask her why is she doing it. It needs to stop.
Obviously, as a side note, when you eat something like that, I mean, liver damage specifically, I didn't make that connection, but it does make perfect sense. But in the sense of eating something like that, that is very difficult to be digested, very difficult to be absorbed, it's not going to be absorbed. But if it is absorbed and it goes into the liver for detoxification, the liver is going to have a really hard time.
I mean, I've been eating for 20 years, ain't nothing happened.
I didn't know you had been doing it for 20 years.
Wow.
Wow. And you don't think this hurting you? You don't worry about the chemicals that's in the mattress?
No,
mattress?
I don't.
It's full of chemicals.
How do you know what mattress is made of?
No,
right,
but I'm not here to attack you. I'm just concerned.
That's something natural for people to do. If somebody's judging your behavior, there are different ways of tackling that, but one way is to basically tackle the validity of what the other person is saying on whether it's actually harmful or not. And suddenly she's basically exploiting her mother's incompetence in knowing how damaging this is, as a way for her to kind of deflect what's going on, to kind of defend herself and just focus on what she's doing, to keep doing it. Because once you have a behavior, the thing about behaviors like that, it's an addiction. It's destructive in some way or form, and it would be very interesting, other than her health, it would be very interesting to see how that's affecting her relationships, how that's affecting her relationships with people. Does she work? So far, I'm just seeing her at home. So there are other fields, other areas to touch upon here, to explore what's going on. But when you are constantly doing something and it is satisfying you, it feels good, doesn't necessarily mean that it's good for you. We all know this. There's so many things that we do that we know it's not good for us, but we do. We do it anyway. But when it fills you up and you do it on a regular basis, it becomes a part of you, a part of your identity. It is an illusion, because it isn't actually part of who you are. It's just what you do. And the more you believe it is who you are, or it represents a part of who you are, because it's what you do, automatically becomes a lot harder for you to get rid of it. Because now if you're detaching from it, you're detaching from a part of yourself. And one way to deal with this is to kind of detach the person from the behavior. You detach the person from the behavior, and suddenly they realize that they are not the behavior. They are not what they do. They are a different, they're who they are. They're not what they do, and what they do is not who they are. Once they separate that, it's easier to let go. It is so much easier to stop a behavior that you don't believe is a part of who you are, a part of your identity, a part of what makes you you.
So if we go see a doctor, right, and they tell you that it's bad for you, are you gonna stop?
Once you're addicted to something, it's hard to stop.
I hope you try
True.
to not do it. I hope.
True. Not impossible,
Please.
though.
It's at the point where I don't care.
It's not who cares, because we obviously care about you.
Okay. I ain't finna have a fight because you found out I eat mattress. Oh, well. Yeah, I gotta go.
What's happening is when somebody intervenes, when someone that you care about, that you fear losing, like family, especially if you're close, addresses the behavior that you're doing that you know is not going to be accepted by the masses and may cause pressure to the people you love, then a new thing is presented, a new concept is presented in this world right now, in her reality. I may lose the people I love. Now there's a potential threat of losing the person I love because now they're so fed up that they're sharing it. Because they love me, they care about me, they don't want to lose me, but they're showing me that they don't like it, which means that they want me to stop. So I now have to actually choose for the first time, because of this intervention, because of this confrontation, between letting go of my behavior or letting go of my family.
I'm going to the doctor today to get checked out because my mom and my brother was very concerned about what the mattress is doing to me when I consume it. I hate going to the doctor. Since you've been eating mattress for 20 years, I hope you don't tell me that this has been slowly killing you. I'm afraid.
So how often do you eat mattress foam?
I consume it every day. In like one sitting, like I would eat like about this thick. So,
Okay.
And then it'd be like kind of big like that.
As a doctor, treating patients, it's very important to be composed, and one of the most important reasons for that is because the patient needs to be heard, respected, appreciated. The last thing you want, I think I mentioned this before, but the last thing you want is to create a lack of trust. And once you react in a certain way, this is different because I'm watching, but I do have a lot of respect for what she's going through, and I empathize with her, and I can understand that way of thinking that led to the behavior, and I feel for her. But you know, this is me watching something for the first time. If I were in front of her, I would be interacting a bit differently. But the thing is, this doctor, when you saw, I'm sure you've noticed this reaction several times, but what he's trying to do, and it's coming across in his facial expressions, he's trying to maintain the emotions, preventing it from slipping out. And when you're trying to resist certain emotions from slipping out, they tend to slip out even more, especially if you're someone with a trained eye, somebody that has studied this. It's very easy to pick up on the different micro-expressions that are coming out. And in this case, you know, he went through a series of emotions that showed up in his face, but he was holding on. He was trying to maintain his calm. His body didn't move, but everything was shown in his face.
I'm very concerned about the foam. Mattress foam is not particularly digestible.
Wow.
How she's managed to do okay so far is a surprise. You know, the problem you face is you're going to have a hole in your intestine or a complete bowel obstruction, and it's going to be an emergency. And emergency means you could die.
Wow. Okay. Got a little fear in my heart there. It just got serious.
You can change this.
I am going to change this. I am going to change this.
She's eating less, basically, fewer times, based on her facial expression, based on the way she was responding. I know she was still in her head because of what happened. I know she was still in her head processing and digesting what the doctor, what the expert is actually telling her, which she probably didn't even want to go to, but she did go to because her family wanted her to go. And what's interesting is she was still in her head. She did feel the fear, because fear of death is the ultimate fear. But she was also contemplating the fear of losing the behavior that gave her the comfort. And it was interesting seeing that, because she's kind of measuring it. She wasn't yet at a position where she can make a decision. And I think him suggesting that, I understand where he's coming from. He's asking her that you need to stop. He's telling her you need to stop, which is correct, because this is a life-threatening situation. And she is fortunate to have survived so far. But she needs more motivational work than just him telling her that. She needs to understand that a bit more. She needs to sit with it a bit more, but he needs to spend more time explaining things. And I guess, in a way, the consequences need to be more fleshed out. It's interesting how we can be so excited with things that we love. We just flesh it out. We look at all the details related to it, which helps us do it, which excites us even more. We love the details when it comes to things we love in life. We just dive deeper into it. And when there's something that is unappealing, we just choose not to. We just look at it as one big thing, rather than break it down and look at all the details. Because the details add more emotion. They're like little anchors that tether us to what we want. Now there's the opposite as well, because sometimes looking at the details is what creates the burden, because it depends on how you look at it. So if I wanted to go to the gym, and I look at the gym as just one big block, I'm just going to go to the gym, work out, and leave, it's simple. But when I want to go to the gym, and I look at all the different steps that I have to do, and preparing everything before I go, and having a locker, and all the different things that could go wrong, and now I'm looking at all the details that create weight, that makes it such a burden that I wouldn't even want to do it. What I mean by details with her is the details of the consequences to amplify the emotions she needs to motivate her to stop is absolutely essential. And what follows that is actually giving her a way, after cementing the emotion that motivates her to stop, giving her a way for her to stop. Because you can be fired up and emotional about something and reach that point where you want to make the decision, but you don't know what's going to happen next. You don't know if you have the support. You don't know how to do it. And once that happens, the firing up that took place may begin to fade. And that's not what we want. So it's a mixture of giving her something that feeds the fire, the hunger to stop, showing her a way to stop, and letting her know that she is fully supported, which is extremely important. So yeah, so that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it. And if you have any comments or suggestions of what you want me to basically watch, please comment in the comment section below. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. And I wish you an amazing morning, evening, afternoon, night, wherever you are. Bye for now.